test, 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 test.
That's why I can never see those things when they tell me
I'd
to.
like to call to order the Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024 meeting of the Danville City Council. Roll call to establish a quorum, please.
Mayor Ricky Williams Jr.,
Present.
Alderman Ed Butler, Heidi Wilson,
Present.
Carolyn Wands,
Present.
James Bouchard,
Present.
Mike O'Kane,
Here.
Bob Iverson,
Present.
Mike Poor,
Present.
Rick Streebing,
Here.
Sherry Pickering,
Here.
Eve Ludwig,
Present.
Tricia Teague,
Present.
Robert Williams, Darren York,
Here.
John Cooper,
Here.
12 present.
12 present. We do have a quorum. At this time, we will have the invocation led by Ward 2 Alderwoman Carolyn Wands, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Alderman Wilson. Please rise. You've been gone a while, so we're gonna.
I'm okay with it.
Oh. Father in heaven, we thank you for all the things that you do, all the blessings that you give. Lord, we just thank you for the year that has ended, and we thank you for this new year. We pray, Lord, that as aldermen that we might do the things that would be pleasing to you, Lord, that we might lift you up in our lives and in our decisions. And just now, Lord, I pray that this meeting might be praising you, and Lord, may we always come to you in our decisions. For it's in your Son's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies. At this time, you have before you the minutes of the December 19th meeting. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. You also have an agenda this evening. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Reports from my office. I do not have any proclamations this evening. However, I do have one board, committee, or personnel appointment. Before I get to that, I just want to say to you publicly, Director Beath, thank you for everything that you have done for the city of Danville. You have been an incredible servant leader. And for me, one of the ways that you showed it was just the fact that there were many times when we were short bus drivers, and rain, sleet, or shine, you were out there driving buses to be sure that folks could get where they needed to be, making sure that they got to their medical appointments, to their work, to pick up their children. So I just want to say thank you again for everything that you've done for us. And please know that she's going to be working, helping us out as a consultant capacity for a little while. And when she's fully done, then we're going to give her a real party. But she has received her flowers and such. But I just wanted to take a minute to just say thank you again for everything you've done. You've done an incredible job. I literally never had to worry about DMT as long as Director Beath was there, and I appreciate that. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to set before you for the appointment of Stephen White, the Director of Public Transportation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I just want to share with you a little bit about Mr. White. Mr. White is a DHS graduate. He then went on and got his associate's degree in business management. For almost 30 years, he worked in various leadership positions, including down south for more than almost a decade, before deciding to come home and to be near his family. And for the last year and almost 2 years now, he has worked with us at Danville Mass Transit, and he is known as being someone who leads by example and who is a problem solver and who is really supportive of his team. So with that said, I would appreciate your concurrence of his appointment. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same time. Okay, thank you very much. Mr. White, if you'll meet me at the podium, please. If you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Stephen White,
I, Stephen White,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Illinois,
and of the state of Illinois,
and that I will,
and I will,
according to the best of my skill
according to the best of my skill
and judgment,
and judgment,
faithfully and impartially,
faithfully and impartially,
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
enjoined upon me
enjoined upon me
as a Director of Public Transportation
as the Director of Public Transportation
of the City of
of
Danville,
the City of Danville,
County of Vermilion,
County of Vermilion,
State of Illinois,
State of Illinois.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank
Welcome to the
Sign it here.
state. And sign it back there, and then Lisa will sign it as well for you.
I just want to thank y'all for this opportunity. I'm really excited to get this new adventure started. It's good to be back home. I've been back home for about 2 or 3 years now, so I'm really excited to be back in the city, and I got some really big shoes to fill. Thank you, Lisa, for all you've done for me and will continue to do for me. Thank you so much.
Are there any reports of boards, agencies, or commissions?
Yes, Mayor. I just want to remind everyone about the King Celebration. It's going to be on Monday, January 15th. The motorcade will start at 10:30. We'll start lining up at 10 o'clock, and we'll start moving towards the church, St. James United Methodist Church. The service will start at 11:30. Our speaker is one of our Danville natives, Catrice Kirk McKenzie, and she was our recipient of our 2000 scholarship. So we're really excited to have her here. She's really a nice young lady. She's married and she's also expecting. So this is a happy time for her. So we're looking forward to that. We'll also present the $4,000 scholarship, and we will also do a special tribute to Mary Thompson. It's going to be a special day for me because it's going to be hard for us to do that, but we want to do this for Mary Thompson at this time, and she deserves all of the recognition for being the chair of the committee for over 25 years. So we're looking forward to this service on January 15th. Thank you.
Thank you, Administrator. I hope that we will see you all out for the MLK celebration. It's always a great day and a good time for our city and for our citizens, and especially proud of our young people. At this time, items of information, I will call on our Community Relations Administrator, Ashton Greer, just to give an update on the upcoming First Friday and auditions for Danville's Got Talent, maybe?
Yeah, sure. Good evening. So this Friday, we have our January 1st Fridays event taking place at the David S. Palmer Arena from 4 to 9 p.m. This event was huge last year, incredibly well attended, and so we had some traffic jam issues last year with crowds. So we made a lot of changes to it to improve flow, and we've also extended the hours by 2 hours to hopefully accommodate a larger crowd. But this event includes a ton of fun activities that are completely free to your family, like ice skating and sledding, an indoor snowball fight, fire safety activities with the Danville Fire Department, fire spinners, themed concessions. It's just a lot of fun. So if you can make it, we'd love to see you there. And then our Danville's Got Talent auditions are coming up. Those dates should be posted very soon, but if you know anybody that has incredible talent and wants to audition for Danville's Got Talent, the requirements are just that you live in Vermilion County. So anybody from a singer to an instrument player, dancer, a comedian, whatever you are, come on out, and we'll be posting those very soon to our First Fridays Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you, Administrator. At this time, Madam Clerk, are there any petitions, communications, or audience comments?
Yes, we do have a few yellow cards. Did everyone have a chance to complete a yellow card who wishes to speak this evening? Okay, when I call your name, please come to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. First, I have Valerie from Danville regarding migrants.
I believe I saw Ms. Kokis leave the auditorium.
Okay. Greg Thatcher of Danville regarding on-street parking and parking ordinances.
Well, I'm sure you all know why I'm here, because that's the only thing I seem to be a hot topic. Still no resolution since Thanksgiving. They tow the truck back and forth with another truck and a tow chain in the wee hours of the morning so that nobody knows that the truck's inoperable. Not quite sure why we can't figure out why it's inoperable and it's just sitting there. They had some kind of note on the inside of the window, which has now fell down inside the truck before I had a chance to read it. I guess I'm really just disappointed that we can't figure out what's going on with our parking ordinances and come to some kind of resolution. It seems like they're really outdated, and I hope that somebody can promise me that they'll be addressed this year, because I don't know how that we can move this community forward if we're not willing to make change. I know we're so proud of ourselves when we put little stickers on garbage toters because someone's left it out too long, and that's a big deal. But I only almost got killed 12 times between Thanksgiving and Christmas or New Year's, but who cares? Not a big deal, because now it's even further closer to the driveway with them towing it back and forth with a tow chain, log chain, and another truck. So I doubt I'm going to get any resolution to this because it doesn't seem to be of interest to anybody. Wow, I'm done before 3 minutes. I'm shocked. I'll move on to the cannabis thing then. Last month, I was really taken aback because some of you were me, my family. Don't forget that you represent your constituents. You represent everyone in your ward. And what you probably should have said is, I don't feel this is in the best interest of my constituents or my ward or my community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thatcher.
Deontay Brooks of Danville regarding zoning.
Hi, thank you for giving me your time today. I came out today because number 8 is on for zoning petitions, but I looked on our website for the city and the comprehensive plan hasn't been updated since 2005, 2006. Typically, those plans are updated they're 10-year plan and they're updated every 5 years. So that means our plan for the city is 20 years behind, but we're doing zoning petitions based on old information. And I thought that was kind of a blind spot, and I just wanted to point it out to the community partners and members of the city, so maybe we could get that taken care of. So when we make decisions about zoning and stuff and how it impacts people, that we make the right decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. We appreciate your comments, and just so you'll know, our zoning administrator is working on that, but thank you very much.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council this evening? Oh, Ms. Colgan.
For help as it deals with influx of migrants. Am I allowed to talk about that?
You can speak about whatever you want to for 3 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The governor announced $41.5 million in grants to pay for shelter, housing support, and food, legal support, and health care. Chicago, Illinois taxpayers have set aside $94 million for migrant housing, and the state has budgeted $550 million for migrant health care. But authorities say there is no end, in sight to the arrivals, and critics say the cost will fall on taxpayers. Has Danville accepted any migrants?
Not to my knowledge, no.
No, you're not reaching out for the program?
We have not, no.
No. Okay. I just have one more comment. Okay, I'm going to ask again, has Danville accepted any migrants, and if the city will or will the citizens be made aware of this? being compassionate towards others is important, but first would be the needs of citizens living within our district. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And just so you'll know, what she sent me was concerning rentals, issues with rentals, and that I shared with you all, so. Right. Yes, Mr. Butler.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to go back to Mr. Thatcher, if could. I went by there last week, and there was a tow stick on that truck. And I think that whenever a tow sticker is on a truck's supposed to get towed away. And I was just wondering, what did the truck get towed away?
I'll ask Chief Yates to address that question.
I think it'd be reasonable to believe that it wasn't towed, or we'd probably have a different report from Mr. Thatcher. I drove by there as probably a week ago, sometime last week before the New Year. And I did see the truck had been moved, but it was still parked in the same vicinity. So unfortunately, I've not directly dealt with this case other than assigning it to command on a couple different occasions. The ordinance states that the vehicle must move, must be driven away. Now, I don't know if the vehicle is operable. There's no reason for me to believe that it is or isn't. Tires have been marked. That was one of the recommendations. We marked the tires. We tagged it. But that clock starts over every time it's moved. That's 7 days. I can only enforce ordinance. Now, I'd like to think that two people living in the same neighborhood could communicate and work this out. I don't know the other party, and I know the gentleman here that spoke very little. So I don't know what that circumstance is. But it sounds like we're at a point where, if we have to inspect it and if we can catch the person out and around, or if he comes to the door and say, can you please start this up and show us that this vehicle is operable? If he does, if it's being towed, has anybody been able to take a picture of it? Do we have any proof of that?
I have a video if you want it.
That'd be great. If we can contact and give that to an officer, if it's being towed, I would say that's reasonable enough.
Real detail, but you can see him towing it and stepping over the log.
Okay. If that's something that clearly shows that it's inoperable, then I think that, the officers will have to can look into it and determine if it's more reasonable than not, because the city ordinance only requires that. It's not a proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Then it can be towed or at least a citation, city ordinance violation be issued. You got to remember, if we tow a vehicle, it's not as simple as, we'll tow it if we do it wrong, then we'll pay the tow fee. When you tow something, you are seizing it. You're taking possession of it. Those are Fourth Amendment issues. And we have to have legal justification to do it. I would like to be able to go and knock on his door and say, hey, come on, let's work this out. Like two human beings.
This has been going on for 20 years.
I understand. I would like to say that I could work that out. Evidently, that's not the case. So we need to look into it further. But we're operating under rule of laws and also city ordinances. And we have to maintain that, because I don't think you want the police here or anywhere else making up their own rules, So.
And so my question is that then, why was the sticker put on the car? Was that a warning or?
The sticker indicates that you have 7 days to be in compliance with the ordinance or statute, whichever one applies, within 7 days. But if the sticker was put on there and the tires were marked, and those marks, because I looked at it, the marks were where they did meet the street, were now pointing straight up. on all four tires, which indicates to me that it was moved. Now, I'm not dealing with it directly, but that was something that I observed when I drove by it last Thursday, what it was. So I'll follow up again.
I got a question.
Thank you. Yes, Alderman Cooper.
Okay, say it's not running, and apparently it may not be. I don't know if it is or not. Can DPD go up to the owner of the vehicle and ask, hey, does this thing run or not, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure that they have it. But if we knock on their door and they don't come to the door, you know, it sounds like
messed up situation.
In most cases, this would be a very simple fix. For whatever reason, this one isn't.
Thank you. Thanks, Chief. We do not have any zoning petitions this evening. However, you have before you the payrolls of December 22nd and 29th. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Roll call vote, please.
Chairman Strebe?
Yes.
Alderman Pickering?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Williams? York?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Butler?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wands?
Yes.
Bouchard?
Yes.
O'Kane?
Yes.
Iverson?
Yes.
Poor?
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, the motion carries. You also have before you the vouchers payable of December 21st and 27th, as well as a special run of December 11th and December 21st, 2023. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Pickering?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Williams? York?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Butler?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Wands?
Yes.
Bouchard?
Yes.
O'Kane?
Yes.
Iverson?
Yes.
Poor?
Yes.
Strebing?
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, the motion carries. At this time, we'll receive our Public Services Committee report. Chairman Strebing.
Don't really have anything. Anybody from the Public Services have any items of information? Okay, if not, we'll meet here in January 23rd, I think.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we'll receive our Public Works Committee report. Chairman Poor.
Thank you, Mayor. We do have a meeting next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Everyone is more than welcome. Anything? Alderman Cooper.
I just got a question. I've been going back and forth to Carl quite a bit here lately. What are we doing with the burnout houses in this town? I mean, Robinson has a few. Harmon and Williams is a mess. We've even got one over here on the East Main Street by a liquor store. It's just ridiculous. I don't know why that one hadn't been taken down, but what do we do?
Well, unfortunately, we have 1,000 houses that need to come down. So we take them down by most dangerous first, secondarily project areas that we're doing in kind of infrastructure improvement and things like that. So we add them to the rotation as they come. Trust me, I mean, a block from my house, I always tell people, listen, I can sympathize with you. You drive around my house a block. There's burnouts, there's abandoned stuff, there's houses falling in. It's trashy and nasty. The house that was on the northwest corner of West Seminary and Harmon had been that way for the 17 years that I've lived there. So unfortunately, what we do is put them in the rotation and taking care of the things that are unsafe first.
Seems like a lot of these would go up ahead of in this rotation because that Harmon and Williams is bad. I mean, it's almost a complete burnout.
But it's not unsafe, though. I mean, it's not. We have our compliance coordinator, Mr. Kraft, as well as his team assess the structures as they come down, and essentially anything that becomes dangerous. If it's not dangerous, if it becomes dangerous, then it moves up on the list. But otherwise, we just keep knocking them down as we can, strategically, as much as possible.
Okay, and the east side of town, we're doing fairly decent keeping it clean. I mean, it looks good over there, a lot better than what it has, but that one by the liquor store, it's real bad. I mean, I'd take half a day to tear that down. I don't know why we're not doing that. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
I understand your concern. What I would say to you is it also doesn't make any sense to the person who's had to live next to a house for 20 years that's terrible. Why something else should take priority over theirs if it's unsafe. So I understand your concern, but you know, we have to try to do them. We have to maintain some system for doing them, and danger is the biggest issue. If it's dangerous, then it goes up on the list and we take care of it. And I know that Director Carpenter and Vice Chairman Pickering would like to address that as well. Chairman?
Excuse me, yes. I'd just like to let you know, Alderman, that when we have a burnout, if the property is owned by another individual, we can't touch it until their insurance company settles with them. If they do have insurance, the insurance check is, I don't want to say apprehended or taken, but it's given to the city by the insurance company to hold until they allow us to tear it down. Then we recoup our money from them that way. Let's say their insurance says it was worth $10,000 and it only cost $5 to tear down. We get $5, we give them $5 of it back. If it's not insured, then it has to go through the system where the inspectors write it up. Then it goes to court. You know, Mr. Simon could tell you more all about that, but it is a long, drawn-out process. And unfortunately, that little old barber shop was years ago that burned up there by Illinois Street, that was between Thanksgiving and Christmas sometime. And it's an eyesore, and I hope we have it down before the NJCAA tournament in March, but it is owned by the same individual that owns the liquor store. And our compliance guy is trying to get him to sign it over to the city because we already have another lot right there next to it. But until somebody does something like that, sign their property over or settle with their insurance company or have it removed themselves, we can't just go in there and do it. And that's a very unfortunate situation for all of us.
Okay, that place I'm talking about in UR2 over there by the liquor store, why aren't we finding the guy?
Well,
I mean,
I
it's
can't
just
answer that.
It's a
That's
complete
something Mr.
eyesore,
Simon
and
would-
it's bad.
It's ugly, sure is.
I will ultimately defer to Mr. Simon, but what I would tell you is, again, our court process takes forever. We can get so many court cases in here a week. We can only get so many in the actual courthouse across the way. So we fit them in as much as we, and as quickly as we possibly can. Corporation Counsel Simon and
The process, as you know, has two basic components. One is city court. Starts with a inspector designating a particular structure on property as dangerous and unsafe or uninhabitable. Uninhabitable doesn't mean it's dangerous or unsafe. Maybe the electric is turned off, but the house hasn't deteriorated yet because of that. Oh, it will in time. And then it works its way through city court. And there are continuances that happen at the request of owners, just like you know in circuit court. The other part of the process is once we do get a demo order issued by a hearing officer, we've got to wait. We wait 45 days because the owner has 35 days in which to appeal in circuit court by filing a complaint for review of the decision, challenging the hearing officer's decision. We allow an extra 10 days in case they decide to appeal on the 35th day, and we've got to get the notice so we can appear in circuit court. I think we've had one appeal since I've been here for almost 3 years now, and that was shortly after I got here. But the other component is resources, both staff and money. And I think I've explained this before. We have so many people under Tracy Kraft who have the time and equipment to demo. And of course, that costs us. We reimburse ourselves either out of insurance money, as Carl indicated, or out of a fund and all. But there's only so much money that goes into that fund. So we can only demo certain houses, or so many houses. One year we did 106 houses. The next year we did less because we also demolished a very large property over on Factory Street. Actually, that had to be farmed out, and that costs over $150,000. We could demo an awful lot of houses for that amount, but that had to come down because a brick wall had fallen and ended up in the street where kids play. So we made an effort to get that building down last year, or maybe it was the end of 2002 and all. So the mayor and Tracy have a plan, as the mayor indicated, and they continue to refine it based on what comes up on the radar. But we just can't go in, as you know, we just can't go in and demo, even if something's dangerous, until it goes through the due process. Otherwise, it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. It's a seizure and a forfeiture situation without due process of law. You can't search and seizure. You can't search it. You can't even walk on the property, as you know, without due process, a reason to be on the property. So our inspectors inspect from the street or the sidewalk, but they can see burned out houses. You know, some of them are burned out from the interior, but they're not, their roofs are in good shape. It looks like the siding's in good shape. The kitchen may have burned out, but they're not occupiable, but they are restorable. But that's up to the owner. We have other problems which make, you know, the process far more complex. Many of these structures, while they're still owned by somebody, they are abandoned. So somebody may set fire, or squatters decide to move in and use, you know, open an open flame fire, and the place catches fire. We find out that the owner is deceased. There's no will, there's no probate of a will, there's no intestate estate where there's no will, there's none of that. So we have no idea who the owner is, much less who their heirs are. And we don't have the facility to track down heirs that we don't know. Very difficult process and time consuming if we can do it.
Okay, the one that Carl and I were talking about is one of my concerns. The other one is Harmon and Williams. Didn't the fire department, when we put that fire out, didn't we tear down, hire somebody to come in and tear down some of that after we were in there?
Yeah, the fire department requested it to be demolished and to help them put it out.
But
We don't do that anymore. Private companies come in and do that for contractors.
But is the
them.
mess just gonna stay there? It looks like there's a.
Well, as Mr. Simon said, it's owned by someone else. The city doesn't own it. There's a legal system that we have to go through to get it.
Yes, Vice Chairman.
Well, and I will also add to that, because Carl, I've dealt with this several times. Also, insurance. If you have insurance that will not pay for certain reasons, there's a delay in it. You have to wait till the insurance company makes that decision. And I've had some that's been over a year.
Engineer Cole.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment. This isn't my, I mean, I work with all the people who handle this stuff. So when there's a fire in town, the fire department and demolition coordinator Tracy Kraft do a good job of coordinating together. We, public works employees, try to head off this having to go through the legal system as early as possible. We are actively reaching out to the owners, to the insurance companies, to other people to try to figure out, do they have insurance? Do they have the resources to deal with this? Do we want it? What has happened so far? Those particular ones on Harmon Street, those conversations have been had. All of those are in the process of being transferred to the city or being turned over, except for one on William Street that's not directly on Harmon. At times, so the Main Street one would be an example. We have had those conversations. That is an instance where, you know, I'll make this my public opinion. That individual seems to have the resources to resolve the matter in his own means and has not done so. So we have to evaluate, are we going to play the long game and go through the court system, or are we going to take it and mitigate the situation? And that happens far too much in this city, where people won't take their responsibility. And that's the decision that we have to deal with. In other cases, like the Harmon Street ones, we're doing enough demolition in that area for the William Street realignment project that we are seeking to just resolve this. So I do want you to know, like, we are active in this process and striving to get better. So if you see a property that you're not sure what's going on, reach out. We can give you an update on it, but we are striving to make it so that legal department doesn't have to go through this process to get these resolved.
Or can we make an ordinance that makes it a finable offense or limits a time frame that we're looking at?
We have the ordinances, they're called our property maintenance code and all, but if there's an insurance company, we don't have the right to interfere with that contract between the insured and the insurer. We've waited many, many, many months just to get the form that the insurance company wants. We can't use our own form, we gotta use their form. And then it's even many more months after that to have the insurance company make a determination. If they make a determination to pay out, obviously the estimated amount to demolish is sent to the city, and if the owner, and on some cases they do, demolish it themselves, we turn the check over to the owner. If they don't demolish it themselves, Tracy and his crew will demolish it, and the city is paid for that. Something else happens in court, and it happened 3 times last week on 4 properties. People come into court with these demolishable structures, and they say, "City, are you interested? I'm willing to give it to you if you drop the case." And Sam Logan and I are working on 4 separate properties. The first question they have to answer is, does the city want to take it? We can't just take, even with a donation, we don't take just any property that's offered, because otherwise we're in the higher risk business, and we've got to maintain those properties. We have a lot of properties next to neighbors that we mow. Adding 4, 5, 10, 30 more properties in the summer or spring to mow, I don't think we can handle it unless Carl can say we can. So it isn't that we just take everything that comes along. If it can be turned into a side lot that somebody may buy for $99, put it back on the effective tax rolls. If it is something we need for an infrastructure project, if it's something that we need for some other right-of-way or something like that, we'll take it, with these donations and all. I've prepared, in 3 days, I prepared 4 sets of documents. Logan and Sam have them. And on one property, I think it is, we're waiting for the title commitment. That's another thing. We have to do a title commitment to see, is there a mortgage? Are there other liens other than the city's liens? We won't take it if there's a mortgage, because we're not in the business of paying somebody's mortgage off or their liens to other folks, whether it's a utility or a mechanic's lien. So there's a lot that goes into making this decision about the properties.
Well, Sherry, I admire you. Your patience is a lot better than mine. I'll stop.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Butler.
I got a statement, I guess. I think we talked about this a while back about the homes. So we got these funding to tear these homes down. Last time I talked to Tracy, he had a list of homes that we were going to tear down this year. I kind of think if that list was maybe shared with the council, and whenever people come to us in our different wards, so we will let them know that the house is due to be torn down, and we will know it. That because I'm sure some of these houses we're talking about is probably on that list.
That was sent out, I believe, in November last, I want to say.
Right.
He sends them out about quarterly.
Yeah.
So it should come to your email, Alderman Butler. If you're not receiving it for some reason, please let me know. That way I can make sure that you get it.
Oh no, I'm fine there because last time we talked, y'all were in my ward tearing houses down, so I'm happy.
Thank you much. Anything else, Chairman?
No, Mayor, that's it.
All right, thank you so much. Are there any items of information for the good of the cause? Seeing none, you'll be glad to know we have no need for closed session.
Oh, come on.
Having satisfied the agenda, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
No move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying